Cool with
Um,
me.
so yeah, let's kind of jump into it. So today, guys, we have Nick Fisher. It's not going to be like a typical stream where I kind of just present you guys slides and kind of work on like the shit that I say works on the slides. I wanted to kind of show you guys what happens when like you take info to like the next space, since Nick kind of runs like $100 million portfolio of info products. So I'll let Nick kind of like take over and introduce himself from there.
What's up, guys? I am Nick Fisher. I can't see y'all, so whatever's in the chat, you just shout it out at me, and we'll go from there. I do love feedback, so interrupt me. Anything you guys want to know, I'm an open book. But I have a $100 million a year info portfolio. By portfolio, I'll define that as a collection of brands, personal brands, and software tools that support those brands in the teaching e-learning space. And I take a minority ownership of equity in there. So they're all business partners as opposed to clients. Although I did have a marketing agency before that. Before I started my company, I was the #1 employee at consulting.com with Sam Ovens. Some of you guys now know him as the founder of School, but back in the day, he was the absolute man. And that's kind of where I formulated my chops on helping info businesses get to 100K and beyond. And at consulting.com, I don't teach like this space anymore. This is fun for me to come on and talk to you guys because normally I'm partnering as the growth operator and helping someone like Pace Morby and Sub2, who is our biggest brand right now. They do $60 million a year and they teach real estate, right? So I teach a variety of things in our portfolio, anything from guitar to baby sleeping through the night. But the biggest brands that we have teach some sort of business skill or biz op. So that's a bit about me. Anything that you want me to touch on?
Yeah, so whenever it comes to like operationally running like info like a portfolio, kind of like the private equity model where you kind of just take like percentages and points off people and then kind of scale them. What does that look like operationally, right? Because in context, I kind of get that, but it's like for me, I want to kind of step into like that space where it's like I have a portfolio and it's like, okay, cool, I'm a minority owner and we just scale these shits to the moon.
Sweet. So where I'll walk you through two scenarios of how to do this. And the second one, actually the first one is smarter. So you can tune me out after this one. The smartest way to do it is to find someone who has a track record of already building a business, or their info business is early stage, but you see that they have the operational finesse, right? If you're going to be the marketing partner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like I am the marketing partner. My co-founder is over there, but I was the first CEO of the business because I'm a pretty good CEO from what I like to call 0 to 20 employees.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly. I've done it so many times to launch so many of these brands that I just know it, and I have an operating model. Where we're at right now, no individual brand is over $100 million a year, but collectively we
Mm-hmm.
have 200 employees. About half of them are in house here in the office today, so it's much different level of joy. I get to focus on supporting go-to-market operations. Although we have hired a version of me now who runs go-to-market. So at
Mm-hmm.
scale, everything changes, but in the early days, it's finding your role. And I've always found the businesses that actually have succeeded with me involved in them have three people normally. And they
Mm-hmm.
can be two founders and a key employee or three business partners, but you need these three roles, and the first three hired is the dude who understands the growth model and the marketing. That means someone like me. I put myself in that category. I come knowing the funnel model, the ascension model, or in the channel of acquisition, at least one, right? Then there's someone who actually knows, the expert, what they're going to teach and is going to lead the product. And then you need someone who is the operational glue, or generally, like in our case, that person who was our head of operations also took sales calls. He also studied a little bit of ad buying under me so he could turn things off when I wasn't there. So
Mm-hmm.
the first three, like in the very early days, that I always have seen. And anytime that I kind of avoid having a project manager with me, what I'll end up doing is go too fast for the team.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes slow, or like I'm like, hey, like guys, this is to me simple, and I've done this before, but I need someone who can distill it, organize it, and keep it coherent, and make sure that I stick to my own growth processes. So if you guys are like me and you get once got, I don't anymore, but I used to get distracted by shiny object like funnels,
Mm-hmm.
challenge box, TikTok shop, like any new thing that marketers say. That's just a lot of times marketers marketing to like marketers.
Yeah.
It's just Hey, webinars are dead. Streaming's dead. You shouldn't be on Twitch. You should be on Kick. Like anyone with half a brain would just be on Kick all day. And you're like, shoot, we can't be on Kick. So to me, I shut all that out. As soon as you find something that works for you, just repeat the model. That's what I would say. You guys is you can get fancy later, but I always come into any launch that I do asking myself the question, could I launch with paid ads? Because I was a media buyer copywriter early in my career. And if the answer is no, then I'm immediately not interested in taking a very like in-depth role, but I'll take advisory role because maybe second phase they'll add paid. But my dream scenario these days is, and the creators we're going after, it's much different than in the beginning. I was going after micro and nano influencers and just saying, hey, trust me, I got this, and then I'll build the team out. These days we have a go-to-market team that I advise, and we're aiming for creators who are, let's call it, high average watch time on YouTube. Like people, they retain attention well. They don't just callers, right? So become the best deadly combinations both. Well, 1 million plus followers on YT, really, really good average video watch times.
Yeah. Cause I think for me, I have like a completely different approach because I'm more sort of like an organic guy.
I mean here.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like for my approach, it's like, bro, I don't give a like all I care about is like if you're good on camera and you have like presence, right? And that way it's like, okay, cool. Your content strategy might suck, but like everything's working there. Cause like
how would you rate presence? Like how do you objectively grade it? Or is it I know it's intuitive for you at this point, but
well, when I was first getting started, right? Because like the first time I ever did it was like with my first ever client, right? It's more so like, and I only like working with people that I know in person. It's like, how do you interact with the people around you, and then how can you distill information of what you're doing to them? So when I met like my first ever creator, we had a conversation, and I know how to trade, right? And so I was just asking him questions like I'm a brain dead idiot, and the way that he was explaining it was like, okay, cool, like this could work. You know what I mean? And then I had him go and like,
feel that from great.
yeah, so,
Sandbagging like your intelligence there on
well,
it.
that's what I do on Twitter too. So it allows me to kind of like showcase who I am outside of business, right? And then that way, whenever people come to me, it's like, okay, cool. Like now we can have like a grown up conversation besides like me tweeting about degeneracy all the time.
Yeah, and that's like my go-to. So I'm gonna take some advice from you because that like I want to be valuable, and obviously if you're being too complex and obtuse, no one's gonna care. So all with your posting or your at reply strategy on Twitter,
Yeah, so
or on
for Twitter, we're posting. It's just whatever comes to mind, right? So some days I'll wake up and it'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna provide value to the timeline, and then I'll tweet like some value, right? The other days, like on Friday, I flew to Atlanta, right? It's like I'm gonna be a complete degenerate, and I'm gonna post whatever degenerate thoughts come to my mind, right? And so it's kind of like a healthy balance. And I was talking with someone the other day, and he was just like, it's really interesting to see you tweet because like you have to be involved in like the business to understand like when you tweet value, it's like more so like higher level. And then like when you teach degeneracy, it's just like your top of the funnel just to get people in. And so it's like I don't know how to recreate it because it's just like literally like how I wake up in the morning. Right.
Cool.
And so
what's your is this a good idea? Well, like you said, I just wake up and choose violence sometimes on X, but if I were to post just a screenshot of this and promote this episode, does that help you at all? If I tag you and say, hey, we're
well, yeah, because it's like another thing, right? And so why I wanted to spend more time this year taking like my Twitter more seriously because I had a conversation with my cousin, and he was like, everyone in the family has no clue what you do, right? And I was just like, I think a lot of people on Twitter have no idea what I do. So I was just like, let me start easing it out and like dropping newsletters and showing people like, hey, like I'm actually good at SEO because I could write long form blogs, and I could take these long form like I had a newsletter yesterday talking about how the stripper loves me, right? And how I related that to like having your dream 100, and whereas like attention doesn't mean a tent, right? It's just like the stripper when I walked in, she was on me because I had 750 in cash, but by the time I had no cash left, she was over me, right? And it was like the same thing happens with clients where it's like you're competing with everyone else that has what they're looking for, and if you fuck up at any point in time, it's not them being transactional or whatever. It's like I just want to extract value and do what's best for me and kind of go from there. But yeah, it would help. It would help greatly because I do want to push more people to like the longer form content because it's easier for me and more fun for me to kind of get on stream and make YouTube videos than like tweet all day. Because it's like
me too.
I hate Twitter, bro. Like it went to shit so bad. So I guess my next question is, right, whenever it comes to like we got your criteria for choosing partners, right? And so whenever you guys go and you guys are scaling, right? What do most people think that scaling info is about, like having a better offer and better copy than anything? And so for me, once you're past the early stage, you get past the wins. It doesn't really matter about like the copy and the offers. And so like, in your opinion, what really matters after like, you guys scale past like $1 million in revenue for like 100K a month? Like what actually matters and what kind of takes you from 100 to 500K a month?
Cool. So normally I think for info specifically, it's different for SaaS, but for info from 100 to 450 to 500K, things start to change. And what I normally say is around that point, you end up with another layer of hierarchy. And that's the biggest like operational shift that you have to make is now at 500K a month, you can run it really lean if you want, but you have to make this decision of, okay, like I pretty much, for me, the VSL call funnel is the constraint at the 450 mark where I'm like, okay, I definitely need to have a sales manager now. Like I can't have the reps reporting into me anymore. We're fortunate enough to like bring them in right around the time where we have like 4 or 5 reps typically if the DPL is good enough. But a lot of times you don't have that luxury until later, and somewhere between, that a good sales rep will bring you 150K ish, right? And a good setter somewhere between 45 to 75. These are just estimates. Based on my experience, guys, you guys could tell me that you are paying your closers more. That's great. We have a certain commission percentage too, so they can go work for your guys' offer too. But in general, we have a certain, threshold for us. So it should be ish though that for any running info is that at that point, you're making enough money to where you can afford to hire some managers. And for me, the actual scaling strategy doesn't change much if you launch on paid. Now, if you're on organic, different story. You end up plateauing wherever the influencer's social reach taps out. And for my influencers, like I do have organic. I shouldn't say I don't launch with organic because even Pace Morby is my like example of, he had like 5,000 collective followers across social. Most were in a Facebook group, but they didn't like follow him on Instagram. His IG was like not popping off. He didn't have a TV show yet or anything like that. That was all after. So, but I need like a pocket of people that really, really like love and support this person as they continue to go through that stage. So even if you tap out their warm audience, like how many times has that happened to you, man? Of like, hey, I thought we were going to be printing money or vice versa, and just the follower.
It's like every 120 days you could extract super, because like the way I go about it, I don't have a sales team. Like I don't believe in sales team with organic because it's just like I view organic marketing as building a cult and pushing propaganda. So it's like
Me and you.
if we do a good enough job, we can eliminate the sales team and that commission goes to me. But it's like every 120 days we have to find like new angles, or it's just like we have to come up with like a new series, or it's like you have to go new shit to kind of get new people in. But there is this one creator where he hasn't posted, he hates posting reels, right? He hates doing it. And I was just like, bro, we could rinse your market, right? But as soon as we're done rinsing your market, because you've had 4,000 followers since we started about 90 days ago, we're about to have 30 more days left. It's like, we're going to have to go straight to paid. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm not the paid guy, right? I have a business partner. He runs paid for like affiliate marketing. And so it's like, we're both never done info paid. And it's just like, we're probably going to have to go pay someone out of a chunk out this percentage to kind of sit down and be like, this is exactly what you're going to do, but we're going to split that bill with you. So it's like 120 days. We run out of like the TAM. But if the content creator can make content and it's good, then it's evergreen, because then we'll pull in ideas where it's like, hey, we might have a video that went viral for this theme maybe 180 days ago. Let's revive that, and then we go from there. And then we use like trial reels. I'm just now getting into YouTube.
Yeah, like we're like, me and Pace have been talking to our team about using trial reels. They probably are now at this point, so we wouldn't start yapping about it. But it's just like I don't know how to use them other than more shots, more at bats is better.
Well, yeah. So I was actually just talking to a prospect about trial reels today, because I was just like, bro, before we get to work, I need to just see you post 100 videos, just so I can see like if you're fucking good at what you're doing. So I don't want to start working with someone and you just suck at organic, because I'm gonna be pulling my teeth to like squeeze the influence.
Situation is there is 0 videos and you're telling them you need to make 100 pieces of content.
Yeah, pretty much. After 100 pieces of content, you could pretty much tell if someone's going to blow up or not. Because
what were they posting before? Just photos and stuff?
Yeah, So it was just like photos, screenshots. They were big on TikTok, but I feel like you can't sell on TikTok unless because it's just a brain dead app, and like the most of the people
Yeah,
using it are
it's
fucking idiots.
rare where I'm hearing a high ticket info success story.
Yeah,
Some low ticket ones disguised as like TikTok shop
yeah.
products. That's about it.
And so like
Yeah.
for me, it's like I saw Brett Scale and like TJR when they were first getting started, and I was like, oh, these guys have like that it factor, right? But I wasn't doing info. I was doing like I had an SEO agency, but I was just like, this is like a good content creator because for me, like all content is just the same. Um, but
Interesting.
yeah, it's because it's like a YouTube video and a blog post serve the same function, right? And
To me,
an expert of a blog post and a short form content say serve the same purpose, right? It's just how we're consuming it. So if I'm able to write blog articles, I could go write good YouTube scripts, right? And if I'm able to go say, okay, cool, here is like this blog article, here are the high level things for like a LinkedIn, like, hey, come read my blog article. I can make really good short pieces from short form pieces of content, right?
interesting. So what's your like preferred content chaining process then? And I'll give you an example of like for Pace and like Cody Sanchez are
Mm-hmm.
very similar in how they start and originate content. We go from like long to form, like documentary style, get everything, cut it down to real.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but we start with long,
Yeah.
where like he starts on X. I know he starts short and goes long.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'd say
you have
I start with Instagram and then we work our way up to long form, right? Because
okay,
with
so,
long form, it's just like it's pretty stupid of me, but I hate working with people who've been in this space and already have an offer because they already have a
me
predisposition
too.
on what fucking works, right? And it's like
Yeah,
this works, but like I have a creator that has 60,000 followers, and I'm like, hey, this works to make you $40,000 a month. The shit that I want to go do, I want to go get you to $250 a month. And we're not going to change shit, but like the vehicle and what content we're posting,
yeah,
right? And
right.
so I like going short because with short form, I get to see what content themes work in a really fast concept. And it's like, okay, if this video goes really well, we could expand on it, right? And
Mm,
so, for example, we had a video talking about how my creator took, the biggest payout in like prop firm history for like a specific prop firm, right? And that video went viral. And so we posted like maybe 4 or 5 different ideations of it. And then we was like, okay, cool, this is a very viral content. Let's go break this strategy down in a longer form video, right? And then make that the CTA, right? And then from that CTA is just direct to checkout, right? So that
dang.
way we get to have, okay, I think it takes about short form. If you're a good enough cult leader and you have a good enough community with other people that are enticed, it only takes about 3 to 4 days for people to convert, right? And so either the converting mechanism is going to be a webinar or it's going to be a YouTube video, right? And so in the past, we were running webinars, but the creator hates running webinars, right? And that's the thing when you're working with people who've never done something before, you don't know what
Yeah.
they like and what they dislike, and then you might end up be praying with something that
Oh,
they fucking hate. And it's just like, okay, cool, let's go back to the drawing board and go from there. But yeah, so it's like I like going short form to long form just because like it doesn't take as much effort to make a short form video and like script that out versus like a long form video. You know what I mean?
interesting. Okay, that makes sense. So you like to hook ideate mainly.
Yeah.
That's your. Are you you're posting those as IG trial reels
No,
and then
so I'm posting them as like stand up reels, right? And
stand up.
then after we go get like we have a video that has like 2 million views, right? And so we know that the middle of the video is really good, right? We have
Okay.
really good retention. Now let's play with the hooks, right? And so now
That's
we'll go edit out the hooks, right? And we'll just go rerun the hooks and see what works, right? And so
cool.
what we're really doing is saying like down the line, if this scenario ever happens again, here's a hook that works really well with this type of body, right? And then after that, we've got the hook, we have the body, and now okay, let's go play with the CTA, and we kind of just rinse and run from there. And then like you kind of have like a Frankenstein of like this hook works with this type of body with this CTA versus this hook could work really well with this CTA, but this like body has to be this, and that, and it just gives you a whole bunch of data points, right? And I think that's like the most important thing. And then I also think like it also helps like when it's time for me to transition into being like a fully organic guy into being a paid guy is that I understand like okay cool like all it real is a short form VSL, right? It's like a 30-second VSL, right? And so it's just like okay cool, if it works organically it should work on paid because it's like the same algorithm but I put dollars behind one. So
Interesting.
that's just like how I like think about it, right? And it's like everyone tells me like hey just start doing paid, and it's like no, like I like my margins, right? And so it's just like we run a super lean. Like it's usually just me, the creator, my business partner, and whoever the fuck they have on their team, right? And so it's not
Mhm.
like how you guys have like the growth operator, the expert, and the operational glue. Like me and my like I guess me and my business partner would be like the operational glue and the marketing, and then like whoever the expert has, we just lump them into one. Because sometimes like I don't know this creator, he has a really good. He lives with his video editor and like his lead sales manager, and so it's like that's
What's
the
up?
that's the
The people
best.
that are in it to win it, and they always win. Like
Yeah.
that's Dan Locke's team. I always tell people, some of you guys probably know Jeremy Haynes. That's where I met Jeremy Haynes back in 2018. We were both media buyers on the Dan Locke account. I was consulting. He was already involved. And a few other legends were on that team too. But Dan had everyone living with him in his house. It was really crazy. And I loved it in like the weirdest, like psycho way. But
Yeah.
he had 6 key employees in 6 different bedrooms. And I was like, man, if I could ever find a creator, this
Yeah.
guy is this guy is as crazy as he seems
Yeah.
on the outside.
But the only thing is that they all day trade, right? And so
That makes sense.
there's a time and point where my creator lost $500,000 in a 3 month span day trading, and the two people that he lived with made $500,000 total day trading. And so
Okay, so it's to live with him.
yeah, and so it's like that put us in a really bad situation because I was like, hey, like if you're gonna do this ethically and like you're hell bent on not being called a scammer or a larper, we have to go tell like the audience, right? And so that new course sales because like no one trusts him anymore, right? But now that he kind of went back to like making money, that stretch where we were honest about like, hey, I'm losing money, but the strategy works. Everyone else around me is making money. It's paying us back dividends, right? But it was just like we took like a 4 or 5 month hit where it was just like, holy shit, like, is this even worth it? Like, you know what I
Mm,
mean? And then we kind of
I
bounced back.
I that's been my whole last 6 years of getting usually stuck. That's why the scale stage is super interesting to me. The worst place that we can get stuck in our business right now is the stage where it's just barely profitable or it's
Mm,
slightly losing money, but we all see the potential of it.
yeah,
Held on way, way too long and then ended up with a loss. Like so many brands that went over $100,000 in loss on an info brand, which you should never be doing if you're smart. Like
yeah.
it's really hard to start convincing yourself 150K down, especially when you're playing with ad money like I
Yeah.
do. I just always think I can turn it around. So to
So
me, I've been there many times.
I guess like my question for you now that you brought it up is like when do you cut out losers? Like what defines like a loser? And then when you say like, come on, you I because my thing is like just like you, I have potential. I'm gonna go ride for you until it's like holy shit, I'm making 2K a month off this. We went from
Yes.
I used to get like 50K wire transfers from you, right? But it's
Yeah.
like I sat there at 2K a month for like 4 months, right? And I was just like, fuck, he's gonna come back, he's gonna come back. And then we did come back. And it's like, okay, this is why we did it. But then I've also sat on offers where it's like, bro, we're not making any fucking money, but I believe in you. And it's just like I
Yeah.
just don't know when to fucking cut it. And it's just like what you see, like what makes something cut worthy, what makes something like I just like eat the shit until like it comes back to life.
Sweet. So I'll approach this in 2 different ways. One from like a marketing media buying standpoint of like when do I cut ads versus when do I cut business partners? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I imagine you're referring to actual people, right? On
Yeah,
the second one.
yeah, actual
Yeah.
people, yeah.
Because to me, one of my and about half of marketers are like this. I think half of the greats are conviction first marketers, I would say, and they just don't talk about it much, but I talk about conviction a lot. So like to me, you slide in that category based on what you
Mm-hmm.
say. It's like I believe in you, man. Like if we're here not to make money but to X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
whatever the mission. So to me, I'm just like we don't quit, and I'm pretty gritty. I'm just like, why would we quit? Like it doesn't make sense. We
Mm-hmm.
said we're not out of the cash completely. So so to me, I'm just like, are we going to lean in or lean out?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the actual question that I think is more interesting because the simple answer is define a point together before you get started, and it's less easy to because otherwise it's a hard conversation. You're like, do they want to quit? Do they not? Are they
Yeah.
leaning in? Are they giving as much effort? So to me, I'm just like these days we set a stop point. Historically, in the early days, it was like $20,000 if we go 20K down.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was like me and creator fund the bank account.
Mm-hmm.
Like just I believe both put in $8,000 and it was 16 funded into the
Yeah.
account. And that way, when the account hits zero, when your Chase Bank goes to zero,
Yeah.
the game's over.
Yeah.
So yeah, just don't do what I've done before, which is start with just the credit card and no funding of the bank account.
Yeah.
And then it's like, who's on the hook? The person whose card's on the file.
Yeah.
It's only, unless you guys are going to go joint on a credit card.
Yeah.
Usually, so to me, that's like, set the expectations and set the guardrails ahead of time, and bank guardrail. And then I learned, okay, it also needs to have a time bound, because we're not at that point yet, but that's what I mean. I learned the lesson of like, okay, this hasn't made me money. It's at $100K a month top line, but net it's like $0 to -$50 to, 10,000 profit. And then waste of time, right? At that point, if you're making money. So to me, I also now add in, okay, at this point, it's like, if we go 150K in the hole, we have aiming for bigger creators. So we have deeper pockets on launch. If it was someone like Kim Kardashian, who we were talking to, it'd probably be even a bigger number. We would go into that. But then, or 3 months or 6 months, you get aligned on the time frame, whichever's first. And that time is normally too profitable. I'm like, we need to be profitable and making net income, and I need to be getting cash myself within X.
Yeah, I need to I need to make it worth my time. And I think for me, I've had some creators where it's like, bro, the offer has gone straight to zero for a magnitude of things. Like, they'll go on vacation for 2 weeks with their girlfriend and forget to batch out content for me. And then they'll come back and it's like, oh shit, I've ghosted my audience. We haven't ran webinars, X, Y, and Z. And then there's a couple where it's like, bro, I just believe in you more than you believe in yourself, right? And this is part of it is greed, because it's like, bro, you're making me $40,000 a month, so it's like, I have faith that you're gonna pick up whatever, right? And I think that makes me because I have guardrails too, right? Most of the times, if I can't launch organically in 45 days between us signing that contract and getting it the first reel up and the first Instagram video up, and then now we're expanding to Twitter, right? It's like, okay, cool, this isn't going to work, right? Because I had to drop a cybersecurity academy recently because I wanted to launch in 30 days and they want to launch in 90. And I was like, I can't bankroll this shit for 90 days, because it's not gonna make any sense to me. And there was really but why are we doing this? And why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? And I was just like, you see how I never asked you guys any questions about cybersecurity, right? I want the same respect. Don't ask me shit about marketing. Just do what I say. And it's I'm sending you guys hey, here are the rules I need to be posted. Here's why. And it's you guys aren't reading the daily stand-ups. And it's kind of going from there. But I do have a question, right? So I'm running a extremely low ticket offer, right? For one of my really good friends from high school plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers G League team on a 2-way contract, and we had a basketball offer, right? I want to push it organically, but he doesn't have time to create reels, and he doesn't want to be make it seem okay, fuck this basketball shit. I'm just going to be a content creator that versus his market with a course. So you think we should just go straight paid, and then if the offer is $147, how much should we what CPA should we be targeting for it to be worth both our times? You know what I mean?
Sorry, I hit Gavin up. I was listening to that $125 price point. You said don't say the N word. I won't.
Tell him I apologize.
Anyway, bro. So offers $125 price point. What were the other criteria before that?
It's $147. He plays in the G League on a 2-way contract, but he doesn't want to go full organic, right? But then it's bro, who's going to pay for the ads, right? And so it's
yes, got it. I have that situation happen occasionally too. Dude, we should find a way to work together, because we could box them in and be like, cool, well, you got to pick one here.
Yeah.
On a launch on those types. So what I always say is that you need content no matter what. And the strategy, I teach on high creative velocity media buying approach. That is my approach. And it sounds like it's similar to you. It's you want to see 100 pieces of content. I don't need that. Yo, what's up, Gavin? Thank you. Appreciate your support. Dude, he was just saying he wanted to have you on next. So you guys, this guy's going to be way cooler to listen to on this market. It's immediately thought of someone who has scaled more people from 0 to 100K recently than I have. But 10 years ago, I probably helped over 3,000. So Gavin's the absolute man. But to answer the question is, I approach it from a standpoint of, okay, what's goal and what's the expectation? Because if I need to hit go from 0 to 100K like ASAP, like in 1 month, to me, I'm like, okay, then for a high ticket model, I need 2 closers because I never hire just one, so 2 minimum. But 2 good ones would at best get me 300K that first month. Scale up if they're good or to great. And at worst, like even the worst type of like closers typically have that I've made work for, let's call it a $5,000 offer, 8% conversion rate. So you have a scenario where you're media buying and it's a low ticket, to where you actually need to probably liquidate more so than you need to do anything else because you don't have an ascension offer on the back. So what I do in order to test it from a media buying perspective is it's more fun because I get to mess with, instead of like making stuff up on calls. That's the power of a VSL call funnel, is you can make custom offers to personal leads and figure out product market fit and price fit. So to me, the 125 price point, my first thought is like, get a bunch of different lead pools. I might target 100 different audiences if I don't have 100 different creatives, but I need to get my variation somewhere. So if they have heavy content, and we're going to go high creative velocity, low guardrails on targeting, and just take shots, then I still have like 5 to 10 core targetings that I want to test and kind of layer. But for essentially like each pocket of people that I'm creating with those targetings, I'm calling and I'm trying to get a sense of, will they pay more than that? Will they pay less? Even if I have a direct to cart funnel. So that's just my approach. And it allows me to, when I get on the phone with them, it's a $125 offer, I can ask a question like this that said, hey, sweet. So like you bought this, what's the outcome that they get or the promise if they get it?
So the outcome that they get is that they become better at training by themselves and like developing without like team structure. Because like in basketball, like you have like practice is just like team development, but they don't have individual development. So it's like focus on like individual development.
Okay, sweet. So individual development, and they're getting developed to what level? What's the like thing that they're gonna get? They know how to like 3-man weave, dribble through their leg.
It's gonna be like your development's gonna showcase in your game. So now you're gonna be more confident whenever you're put in like crunch situations. Your coaches are gonna be have more confident because they see you grinding, right? So it's not like you're gonna come and we're gonna teach you how to be
So it's not skill based, it's mindset more so. Basketball mindset.
Mindset and skill based, more so skill than mindset. But it's like it's kind of like touchy because like I don't want to make any promises like, hey, we'll add like 5 minutes to like how long you play or 5 points per game because there's no way to track that.
Well, that I get. That is that would be you would need a heavy risk reversal or a different type of offer. But like let's just say, what is like an example of one hard skill that they would learn that they're getting throughout?
They'd be a better 3-point shooter, right?
Better. Okay.
So you can add like 10% to your 3-point percentage.
Okay, sweet. Then I just speak to like average student results. We see this. Sometimes it actually goes backwards. You never know, but what everyone in this community has is the confidence to take the next shot. So like you might take that language, test it on someone who's at 125 person. They're like, yeah, that's it. Like all I bought this was for like, it's cool that you guys didn't have a promise. Like I assumed that I actually wouldn't be able to shoot 10% better on 3-point. So like I was just buying it because I don't want to quiver when like I get it in the clutch and I have to shoot it 3 seconds left and like I airball like I did last time, whatever that pain form. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So that's all you wanted for 125. And they said, yeah, man, like, and you already got it to me. I might switch the product to get them that outcome faster. So I might move that video that like really helps with that specific thing forward if I hear it definitely 5 times, but certainly in the other days, a couple. So I'll just be like, okay, me and Sam Ovens used to do that all the time. We would take, for our free trial, we would take videos from every, like we had weeks 1 through 6. And I would take the 1 to 2 things from each week and put them into a free trial funnel and bring them out because I had tested so many videos. I didn't want to destroy the order of the course, but for certain people, I wanted them to experience that quicker so that I could see if I could upsell them quicker, which makes the whole model.
So I guess we have to build like an ascension back end, but it's like
you don't. But if you want to make good money, that you
because immediately I was thinking like we launched and we sold because his audience he's like the #1 Big 10 like he leads a Big Ten in number one games played, right, for a career, right? So most of his audience are really young kids, like junior high and high schoolers, where like the price point is like, bro, what the fuck am I gonna get 100? Excuse my language. Where am I gonna get all this money from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like it's $125, right? And then like we get some college kids that have bought, and so it's like, bro, we move like 50 units, which is good for like a high ticket launch, but for like a low ticket launch for me, it's like, bro, like that fucking sucks. But it's just like we can't push content out because like we have all these like restraints where it's like I play 4 basketball games a week, like you know what I
Okay.
mean. And so it's just
Mainly
like
high school kids that are buying this. Like you
high,
selling.
yeah, high school kids, and then I told them that I want to target parents, right?
Yeah.
So it's like because
Parents will buy it.
I've been because we play on the same select basketball team, right? And so for me, it's like even though we play on the same basketball team, we didn't have the same recruiting efforts, right? My parents paid for recruiting help. Your parents were lucky enough where they didn't have to, but I think if my parents were to buy something like this, right, I can only imagine who would buy something like this, right? Because my parents have also paid for SAT and ACT training, right? And so it's just like that's where it's like, bro, you could have a high
Yeah.
ticket, but someone has to be there to fulfill, and it ain't gonna be me.
Oh, so dude, you picked up on a good point too, and I love teaching on this. I don't get to a whole lot except in my like community,
Mhm.
which is you don't have to ascend. Like I like to ascend linear ascension, and people always think that's the only thing I do. No, we're just really extremely good at activation. If I could, like, even better than acquisition at this point, we're activation experts. And as soon as I get someone a win, a quick win, and an aha, I think about, do I want them to refer more people into the core? And that's the loop, and that increases the whole model. Refer, ascend, monetize, and monetize can be done by affiliate. So like test prep is a great one. Imagine they're a high school kid, you just go and partner. Like I could give you guys a lot of recommendations, but on networks like a JVZoo or a WAP now with their affiliate program, you can go and search for anything that like you have. So creating another offer in Ascension sounds sexy until you have a high ticket sales floor like we have. And I love it now, but like it's not like great on just like your, like it's intensive, right? To build out a keep people talent retained. There's a lot of challenges that come with that type of model because Ascension usually at some point involves a sales team.
Yeah.
I've seen anyone go more than 2 Ascensions without having to get a sales team. So to me, that's just one way that I like to do it, but you don't. So referral is super easy. You hit them with a referral code. Is everyone post-purchase? The welcome flow is, hey, as soon like here's what's going to happen. You're going to notice on practice number 1, your coach is going to your coach is going to put you in, and what you're going to do is go and take the ball from the point guard and shoot it, and let him know that you're not afraid to take that shot. It doesn't matter if you miss it or make it. You're going to look him in the eyes and say, I'm ready for it, whatever it is. Terrible advice, but you guys get it. I would put that in there, get them there. They do it. You create that moment, you get that like aha, and they say, and they like, now you arm them with a referral where it's not about selling the product, it's about having that same experience for someone.
We were talking like the feeling of the result,
The
right?
feeling of the result.
And I think what we need to do, I'm like, I'm just spitballing now. I think what I need to do better now is more so like community activation, whereas it's like I want people to join in to see like, okay, cool, like the 147 is bigger than like just me, right? I'm joining a movement of people looking and striving to achieve like, you know, because the stats like only 2% of all high school athletes play in college, right, across all levels. And so now it's like now we're joining a movement where it's like we're overlooked, under recruited, and X, Y, and Z, and now we all came together, and boom, right? And I think
that's me. Yeah, I was. What's your community? I'll buy right now.
Let me. Yeah, I'm gonna tell them I got a sale. Let me pull it up real quick. But yeah, because it's just like I think like we did a shit job like marketing it beforehand because we were just making assumptions, right? I just threw it in the chat, right?
Marketers. Is it mainly marketers who listen to this instead of salespeople? Salespeople are like, yeah, like marketers freaking don't know anything. They're just guessing out there on the lead flow.
Yeah, so it's like I think because I did the same thing that I do for all of my high ticket launches, and then I quickly realized after we launched that like low ticket, since it's so low ticket, people don't trust it as much as they do with a higher ticket program because it's like if I spend this much, what are the odds that I really change, right? And so like I think like once you join, well, I'm gonna go implement the refer thing, and then uh where we refer to like other programs, and then figure out like, well, refer have them refer other people, and then become affiliates, right? And then figure out
Yeah.
what like we could affiliate from there, where it's like, hey, if you want to, because I went to the number one engineering school in the country for football, right? And so it's just like, hey, like I could come in and be like, hey, here's where I see the value of like partnering up with this, because I took ACT prep, I took the ACT and SAT
Yeah,
every
dude.
like every year since like the seventh grade, I was taking the
There's a
ACT.
lot.
So
Like the coolest thing about I think the where the stage that you intercept people at for this product, the 147,
mhm,
is that you can test affiliate offers before developing your own product roadmap.
mhm,
So let's say you wanted to add test prep. You don't know anything about test prep, doesn't matter. You know how to find creators.
yeah,
So you bring one in, but you test the idea of, is it even worth me doing this, by
yeah,
just whatever top affiliate test prep offer.
okay,
So yeah, to me, like I do that on this one, and this one specifically. I love this. So it's solo training. It's basically what I would consider just, there's, I would assume, no Q&A call, no live component. I'm gonna solo train this whole thing, right? For
yeah.
one. Sick.
Well, and I think like I think what we should do is, because I wanted to have like an activation, like onboarding call, where it's like we batch whoever joins that week, and it's like, hey, like here's the onboarding call, here's like what you're going to get out of it, so that way they could get like a little bit more value, and it's just like him hopping on the call for like 45 minutes, and it's not as
Yeah.
stressful as like we're going to onboard 100 people, you're going to have 100 onboarding calls, X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, we're going to have one call, and then
Yeah.
like move on from there. You know what I mean?
I Yeah, that's a great point. I actually have never thought about that, because I always start with mid-ticket price points between 3 and 12K. So I
Mm-hmm.
do individual welcome calls, because why not? Like, otherwise you can't really, like, what's a community manager going to do?
Yeah.
So to me, it's just like a way of getting the reps in and treating everyone individually, and that's cool. But for you, yeah, just get them all on with the creator, and then that is whether it's a weekly call, a monthly call, or a biweekly call, whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is, it becomes a low stakes sales call, is what
Mm-hmm.
I would call it, where you're
Yeah.
trying to get them to do something, but it's not to give you more money right
Yeah.
then and
And
yeah.
so I think like the sell would be like, hey, like we actually need you to go and implement this like as soon as you get
Yeah.
off the call,
Yeah,
right?
you do the brand convictions, like the stuff that you already just naturally telling me
Mm-hmm.
is like, I always tell people, I'll put this in chat here so I remember brand convictions framework, because to me, whenever I skip this, I never get a culty community. You
Mm-hmm.
have to plan from day one how this community is going to act, because here's why. You're like, oh, we'll just worry about making it culty later, community later. To me, it's like community led growth model or something else. Don't switch halfway, because the first 100 people you sell are so important to the energy of who else is going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
The other people attracted. So if you want like the people who wanted to make it in college and then just couldn't get the scholarship, that was me too, for several reasons. I couldn't get it for academics, the school I wanted, or basketball. So to me, like that resonates, right? And that would fall under in this brand convictions like checklist for me. Who do we fight for? Which, yeah, how we work, the feeling of our service, what do we experience, do we enable, where is our world going? You answer all those questions, and you have, if you don't have someone who has a strong opinion about all those, um, it's hard to fake it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just stay away from community-led growth kind of models. If they don't care, they're
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not passionate about these high schoolers.
Well, I guess like for him, right? I've
Mm-hmm.
seen his recruitment journey where he had a number one goal of being ranked in like by his senior year, right? He's a year younger than me. He the last ESPN 100 ranking, he was number 100. You know what I
That's
mean? And so
max prep. Yeah,
it's just like he understands
of course.
like how it feels and he cares about it, but then it's like he's still pursuing his lifelong dream of like being like consistent NBA minutes. And so now it's
That,
like
that's cool.
we're in like a rough position where people could see the development, because you know he went overseas, got kicked off the team overseas because I said he wasn't good enough. Kept working with team USA 3-on-3 basketball for the Olympics. Kept working. Won the G League championship with the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know what I mean? Kept working. 2-way contract with the Cavs. So he's like they can see the development through this, right? But it's hard for him, right, to be like, bro, I want to do this full time, right? But I can't because I have 4 hours of practice, 2 hours of film, I got recovery, I have this. And like for me, it's like, bro, let's run ads. But it's just like I don't feel comfortable enough, like with my
Yeah.
current skill set, like putting 10K a month towards ads, towards this, because it's like I might burn through 50 grand to like get it out there and like actually learn, right? And it's just like that's gonna ruin the friendship because like, hey, brother, I need 50 back.
You need to retire him. You got to get him out of that point where he's got to make a decision if it's going to be like G League or it's going to be the
Yeah.
info stuff. Because to me, that what he's teaching, he's already been through,
Mhm.
and you can bring in more people. Like I'm sure you guys both know people that are what I would say at the next step of the ladder. Like if it's high school, why do they want to get like hit the big shot, get more minutes, get more confidence? Probably because they want to play at a certain level, and some of them like high school is that level of achievement. They want to win state, and then others want to go to college. But if they all have college ambitions and couldn't get there, then secretly, like what the product might be is you finding just that same person who made it to college and is at a D1 school, like dope program.
Mhm.
And then you guys get to do, I don't know, like live meetups at like with Cameron, like Cameron Indoor Stadium or
Yeah.
something, at the Duke. And then he's like, hey, like I'm on the Duke team and they're kind of like an honorary coach because they're
Mhm.
probably also busy. But you can get people like that increase the product value if he can't give you more time. Because then he could be like, hey, man, we're boys. He's at Duke. All of you guys, we can't talk to him long, but after the UNC game, you
Yeah.
guys are going to go into the locker room, whatever it is. So to me, there's so many ways. And it all starts with finding that activation point and the group welcome calls. Dude, you can pitch it. You can pitch it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to, right? So I have a couple more questions, and right, one of them is like, what's something that's commonly like taught and praised as like the holy grail of info that you actively disagree with? Like for me, I actively disagree that you need to build your business completely on paid, right? I think you need to marry paid and organic, right? And so whenever I see people, oh, I'm only paid, it's like, bro, like you're an idiot. And if I see people only organic, it's like you're also an idiot, but I'm an idiot too. So it's like, what do you disagree with is actively like champion in info?
That's funny. I actually like, to me, a hot take in marketing. If you give me categories, I can think of something. Like I just brought up my AI bot, my Delphi bot, which
Okay.
I
So
like. That's
so
super. Like
that's
who have,
perfect.
who have I said is an idiot lately for saying something really? I mean,
um
I hear idiotic takes all the time. Everything works in a vacuum,
mhm.
and to me, I'm just like I need more context. Like I've heard it's usually the dead. Like X is dead.
Yeah.
Tactic that I'm just like no, that's not true.
Or like this
But
is like your last year to make it. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm trying to think if anyone's really getting misled right now. I don't think so, dude. I have not seen. There's so much working in opportunity right
Mhm.
now. Maybe something regarding the AI is what's the opinion of AI of your community here, and I'll give you a hot take.
I I've been so for me personally, little context since 2022, I've been writing blog articles about how AI and content marketing are going to like change the game. So I'm a really big proponent on AI. I actually
Cool.
one-shotted like my biggest client in one night off of Chat GPT, right?
100%.
And so it's like now like AI does everything, and I think it's a really good thing, but I also think it's a really big skill gap. And people never talked about like how good of a prompt engineer you have to be to and actually like order AI to do what it is, because all AI is to me is an employee that doesn't talk back. So so it's
So,
like if I'm not a good enough leader and I can't give you like commands,
correct.
like you're gonna give me back bullshit. But since I've never done it and I've never like I can't sit back and be like, no, this is wrong because I did da, 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 right?
Mhm.
AI is going to be super negative. It's going to be more sort of a down, like a negative than a positive, right? And so that's just how I see it. And I
Yep.
recommend people like leveraging AI, right? But I don't. I also recommend people like learning how to prompt the AI correctly, right? And
Yes. Yeah. So we agree on there. Like there is what I would say is like critical thinking is never going to go out of style.
mm,
With you, human beings are going to have to critical think and relate with each other until the end of time. So
mm,
if anything, like protect your energy, protect your compute, your version of the AI is what I would tell people is that matters a lot.
mm,
And then outside of that, which we pretty much agree on the exact thing, and I don't care to make predictions about where AI is going because it's iterating and looping so fast,
yeah,
other than it is single-handedly creating some of these crazy arbitrage gaps in the skill industry that you guys can take advantage of if you want to make money
yeah,
really fast. It flows eventually, but you can Like I taught one of our interns to, before ChatGPT came out, OpenAI was just an API that Jasper was using, and among other people that were using models. He used to charge $75 an essay in college when people didn't have awareness of it. And that was just an awareness problem that instantly closed as soon as ChatGPT hit. And I go, bro, what a nice like year and a half run.
Yeah, so it's like, for example,
yeah,
it's like to build on that, like whenever Clawbot came out, right? I bought the URL like free Clawbot installs, and I got like maybe 70 bookings, and so it was just like a $100 affiliate play. So I'm trading like $9 for 100, right? And so to fulfill that shit, it was a bitch. So I shut it down. So I was like, it's someone else is going to come up with a way better and way smarter way. But for this little week and a half window, you know what I mean? I'm the go-to man because I have everything set up, right? And it's like,
yeah, to me, right. To me, like there's nothing other than like Claude desktop for Mac that I'm really deep on right now. And even then I don't think it's worth talking about to everyone here today until I have some like serious game. But it's saving me hours and hours of time that I would pay. Like it saved me $2,000 in 1 hour yesterday just off some that I had to do. So that's cool. But if your time isn't money and you have more time than you have money, then to me, you just arbitrage opportunities on like Upwork. So the actual contrarian take, I'll give you one. I thought of one. I adamantly disagree when people say that our attention spans are getting shorter and that we need to continue to create reels that are shorter and shorter. Okay, hook needs to be in a micro nanosecond. That is self-fulfilling. I always tell people, it's like, okay, you want to believe that about everyone, because we also like will binge watch Netflix shows. And to me, like focus is a learned skill that no one really has. So it's just like your devices are maybe eroding your attention span, but don't project that on everyone else. But more technically, what does that mean? Because I took that take. If I say it's not about attention and it's a race to the bottom is kind of how I feel about it. So if everyone's racing to the bottom or racing to a nanosecond of like, yo, what like hook manic, like to be honest. And it's funny, I don't know if I do it. There's a word for like the millennial pause or the millennial gap where you have like
that's what it's called, like the millennial pause.
yeah, like that's not a good gap to sit in, obviously, but 3 seconds is, because now it's not a millennial pause. Now it's like a Sam Levin silence is what I would say, that kind of thing. So you're using that as tension. And there's a bunch of stuff that you can do instead of having to hook grab. I think about how do I retain attention once I have it. So the more important thing is, do I have direct call out to the audience? Do I have things in the background? Like even me right here. I got a few of our brands that people might recognize, and if that does it and they get an association, they're like, oh, I like that. And that's like, I don't have to hook grab for that. That's just me. And then I don't have to let's call it the worst case scenario with people like you and me, I would say, is we make people do 100 videos and they're too variated and they're like, well, like, who am I after this? Like,
I think, like, add on to your point about like the attention span. I don't think it's people getting a worse attention span. I think the content's so shit now, right? Because for me, I scroll TikTok and I get to it. I doom scroll, right? But if I go hit a Reddit story video where they're going over the video and it's just someone playing Subway Surfers, I watch the whole video, right? But it's not more so me paying attention to Subway Surfers. It's more so like the audio is so enticing, right? And what's like the story that's being told is like so enticing, right? And I also feel like, hey, you're saying that people have bad attention spans, right? But it's like, do you not sit on the phone with people for hours? Right? Do you not FaceTime someone and you just go on hour-long tangents about a certain topic? Right, but the reason why is like that shit's interesting, right? You guys are talking about shit that matters, right? And I think the best creators, whether they sell info or whether they affiliate or whatever, they get on camera and that's what I was looking for. You could get on camera and it feels like we're on FaceTime, right? And it's just because you have to think about it. When I stream by myself, I don't have anyone. There's no one. You're like the first person all year that I've streamed with, right? But there's no one across the board giving me feedback. So I'm building off of. And my chat's pretty dead usually, right? I usually have like 9 to 10 people, and so it's
blow
like,
it up.
It's just like I'm just talking to my goddamn self. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's like the best creators, they are able to make you feel like we're on FaceTime. And so if you ever go to the comment sections where the people who have the best retention rates, it's like, bro, I feel like I'm on FaceTime. I feel like I know you. You feel like I feel like we're best friends, X, Y, and Z. And that's more so like how you retain people, and the people who like they get a lot of views but low retention rates, right? It's just random tangents, and you don't really feel like that interpersonal connection, right? Where it's like, okay, cool, I'm talking to you like I'm above you from a position of power, and not like, oh, we're just peers and I'm just catching you up about my
Mhm.
day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. We like I like you too, and this is the first time we've met in like this type of setting,
Mm-hmm.
which is fun. So to me, also, I can be a little bit late, but let's call it 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
I would want to say then, with that being said, I would love to do this again if you end up being like, yeah, Nick was cool and
Yeah.
whatever else. Invite me back. I would love to have you on my show too.
Yeah,
So,
I'd love to come. I'll let you run. And
cool,
then I'm gonna do like a quick little recap with the people in the chat right now, and then we'll
cool.
kind of just go from there. And yeah, so I appreciate you coming on. There you go, guys. We've had Nick Fisher. Hopefully, we had a great conversation for you guys to kind of go on and bank on, and hope that you could take some nuggets and go from there.
Sweet. And I always do this before I go on a stream, guys. And if you want more for you guys to be my guests, but I normally give that to only people that I consult with our brands, like my internal processes it trains on of everything I do.
Yeah.
So if you have a situation that's like, how do I get from this to this, or how do I hire this? Just ask that thing. I think I gave everyone like 3 or 7 like questions for free on there too.
Okay,
So
bet.
just
Yeah, so I'll
you
go
know,
check that out.
yeah,
I'll give it to select people who I think would
feel free.
join a Gexa with me, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah, dude, you can keep it for yourself. You can gate it.
All right, well,
Um,
guys, you give me $1,000, I'll share it with you guys.
yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
So, dude, it's a pleasure having you on. Tell the chat I say hello, and next time I'll join from the kick
yeah,
side.
they're all spamming fuck Nick. I don't know what you
Yeah.
got.
Hey, let's go.
No, I'm joking. They're all saying thanks, cheers. It's not like once again, I really appreciate you. And so
Appreciate you too.
we'll try to get the low ticket light skin on next time for a little bit longer and go from there.
He was getting himself into. I told him I was streaming. So
No, yeah, he
what's up?
joined for a little bit, said what's up, and then
Yeah,
left. But it's no worries. He's on my list of 50 people that I want to have on stream this year.
he's
So
great.
I'll
He's
try
great for you.
I'll try to get it figured out because a lot of people do a lot of low ticket stuff, right? And they ask me
Mm-hmm.
how do you ascend, and I say by the grace of God. So it's like
Sure.
I don't really have like the thing because it's like this is like really like my second year in info, right? And so it's like okay,
Dude, really?
I figured out this portion of it, but like everything else around it is like I just literally watch YouTube videos and says, does that make sense to me? If it does, let's go and implement it blindly, and then just iterate from there and just go back to the same YouTube video and be like, you have to have more.
That's how I approach it too. Is you cut out the people that give bad advice, and then you stick to the people that have good.
Yeah,
But hit me up anytime. Do we have? I'll hit you up on X. That's where we mainly
yeah,
connect, right?
yeah. So
All right.
I'll hit you up and then we'll just go from there.
Cheers, man.
All right,
Talk soon.
cheers. Yes, sir.
Peace.
So yeah, guys, there we have it. We had the $100 million man. I really appreciate you guys. Um, can you drop the Discord chat after stream? Yeah. Oh shit, did you guys not get that? I'll get the brand conviction thing. So I think I put it in the chat, but I'll just drop it in a Google sheet and then we'll just run it from there. Um, so yeah, who do you guys want to see next? You know what I mean? Because I do want to, continue to have people on that are above me. Yeah, the message was too long for Kick. Um, who the fuck cares about you, nigga? No one give a fuck about you, nigga. Who the fuck are you? So yeah, so it was a really good conversation. Like I had a shit ton of questions for Nick. I got through most of them. There were a couple that I didn't get to, but the conversation deviated and provided me a lot of value as well too. In full transparency, I use that as a sales call for Nick because I want to join his program. And I just wanted to see and pick his brain for an hour low pressure. You know what I mean? So it's like I'll probably tell him to send me an invoice and kind of get in there. But yeah, no problem, Jay Newsman. And that's like another thing, right? When I send out the email to like my newsletter, I was just like, hey, you guys are probably never going to hear about this guy if you guys aren't actively in that field. And so I have no clue how he found me on Twitter, but I respect it. And I always tell people like, you could network your way up to whatever you want to be in life by just being your fucking self, right? So he had to see some of my fucking degen tweets and go from there. And so yeah, what you guys want to see, you know, because I'm gonna try to get Ryan Clog. I'm gonna try to get Josh Gavin. I've had Mason Cardinal on a couple streams before already, so I don't want to kind of keep asking them because I don't know if you guys want to get like into copy. And so like if there's anyone in the info space that you guys want me to get on, let's like just leave it in the chat real quick and let's kind of just go from there. Um Haynes, Jeremy Haynes is going to be a really big pull for me, but I think I could swing it. But there's going to have to be proof of concept, and it's going to have to be a mutually guaranteed win on both sides, if that makes sense. Um, you know what I mean? So I'll try to swing my dick for Haynes. You know what I mean? But you know, maybe later in the year. Because I know next week I'm gonna have Cabrin on. Like a week from today, or whenever me and Cabrin could settle it. He's kind of like in charge of Artisan Lab. You know, rest in peace to Ben and his community. But he's super cracked at what he does. And we've both been utilizing AI, and so I kind of want to like pick his brain and kind of see, okay, what's his use cases, how he's training it, and then kind of going from there. And then from there, uh, try to get Sean Matthews up. Um, there's Yaha, cause Yaya. I'm trying to get Yaya up. Cause Yaya is also a killer whenever it comes to challenge funnels. Um, so that would be super cool. For we could go Ryan Clog, right? 5, we could go Josh Gavin, right? And so I'll try to get all this coordinated in the next month and a half, right? Where we go Kibrin, Jason Alphabom. You see, but I feel like the stream that me and Jason would talk about, it wouldn't be necessarily um yeah, okay. Valentine, I don't know who the fuck you think I am and how much motion and pull you think I have. But like the stream that I would have with Jason Alphabom would be more so like how do you maneuver through business and being a degenerate at the same time. You know what I mean? Because I think there's a lot of parallels that I could draw from Jason. Um, that aren't really like business related. So it wouldn't be like, oh, here like the tactics on like how he grew his empire. It'd be more so like, hey, how have you sustained like your lifestyle for such a long period of time? Because I'm running into the point where it's like, bro, this shit fucking sucks. I hate being a playboy. I hate sleeping. Okay, let's not get into the specifics. There's a lot of shit that I hate with the lifestyle that I currently live. But it's like I look at you and you be like, yeah, damn, you've been lit for so fucking long. You know what I mean? Let's just kind of go from there, right? So I think Jason Alphabom would have a really good one because I also think that all life is like managing your own chaos. You know what I mean? That's all discipline is to me. Is there anybody else? Give me like 3 more, and then I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna get this VOD posted, and then we can kind of just run it from there. I'm gonna try to get EP on. Um, any big? I'm gonna get traffic. See the thing with Traffic Broker, I want to get him on, right? But I don't know if him because he runs an affiliate network, right? And I don't know if that would be beneficial to you guys because I don't think, no offense to you guys, I don't think you guys are in the position to try to manage an affiliate network before being an affiliate marketer. You know what I mean? Because yeah. So I'm gonna get Traffic Broker on for sure. Um, and then yeah, give me 2 more because I have 8 names right now. So just give me 2 more. And a lot of things with these affiliates is that if they're anonymous, they won't come on. You know what I mean? Or we have to figure that out. And so we could go from there. I could get some niggas in the NBA on stream too, but that's gonna be more sort of like a bullshit stream where I kind of just we talking reminisce about like how we know each other and like how life was. Marcus, who's Marcus? Is it Marcus Hustle? Let me know who Marcus is. We'll think about it. But nah, bro, that was a really fire stream. Wonder what happened to Trump, bro. I'm telling you, these niggas make a lot. Like at a certain point, if you make a shit ton of money and you're anonymous, there's literally Caden. Like say first and last names, just not first names. Like is Caden like the LinkedIn guy, or is it Caden the sales guy? Like which Caden? Trunks and Cheney, they are oil tycoons now. They make $1 million a day as oil tycoons. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck about no affiliate marketing. I'm trolling though. I don't know what they're on. I just know like you may eventually get to the point in your career where like you step away from Twitter. I 100% got to that point last year where I was just making a lot of money and I didn't feel like providing value to the timeline. So I'll just get on and be like, hey, I made this much with fucking info. Like, you know what I mean? Let's go from there. Cause like I said, it's my second year. It's gonna be my second full year in info, right? And so it's just like now I have a community that I built from like casino affiliate marketing and gambling all the fucking time. And it's like I want to put money in y'all niggas' pockets. You know what I mean? And kind of turn the Discord into more so of a private equity type of play where I kind of like partner up with y'all niggas. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're doing well. I still talk. I still what net worth we logging off of the socials. I'm never logging off of social media because it's always gonna be bad bitches for me to go after. Straight up. I'm only logging off social media when I get married. But even then, it's like it's no point because it's like, bro, I'm networking with people. Like, if I didn't have a Twitter account and I didn't like build that up, I would have never met like Nick Fisher and got in contact with Nick Fisher. Like, you know what I mean? I never got in contact with like, you know, You're a Lazy Fuck and Mason Cardinal and like Christian Ricardo and Corey Email and Christian Bonner and Dan, like all the niggas that y'all see on Twitter. Like, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be in contact with them. So there's no point for me to ever delete them. Right. But with some people's businesses models, like with Trunks, he was a high level affiliate. He didn't need a network with anybody. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, I could delete my social media and not give a fuck. You know what I mean? So it just depends. But yeah, I want to turn the label into like more sort of like a private equity kind of thing where it's like I partner up with people and it's just like we try to scale and it's like, hey, like if the offer makes sense, I'll come on and I'll put in like sweat equity for like 50%. You know what I mean? And then like we scale the offer and then we kind of just go from there and then eventually get to the point where like, hey, you could buy me out. Or I'll just sell a minority, like a majority stake and become like a minority owner and just have this be like passive cash flow and take on more sort of like an advisory role. You know what I mean? That's like my long-term goals. And so it's getting to the point where like everyone's self-sufficient. You know what I mean? But then it's just like also like people ask me like help them out one-on-one. And then like that's like a whole other beast in itself. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do want to say this before A&R. Nah, fuck that. Welcome to Bad Boy Records. Take that. I will want to say before we kind of before I log off is that one of the key points that I learned from Nick is that there's a lot more similarities between you and the guys that you think are out of reach, right? But a lot of people don't have like a platform to like ever like figure out those similarities, right? And I think the most important thing isn't building a personal brand, it's building a brand that people respect and want to be like. You know what I mean? And people want to like engage with their content. So yeah, I'm about to log off. I'm gonna post a VOD up on YouTube. And so yeah, it'll be sent in the Discord. I'll go get the brand conviction from him as well and go from there. But yeah, I'm out, fellas. Y'all be easy.